smidgen of a delay. So good evening, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for
Dạ,
coming here tonight. I'm
dạ,
sorry, do I hear something?
dạ, xin chào quý vị.
What was that?
I think it's a translator.
I know what I'm trying to hear what he's saying. Is that Quinn?
Yeah, that just good evening. So I tried to say, can you put me in
Oh,
the
okay.
can you put me
I
in the
will,
translator screen, please?
So what I'll do, Quinn, is I'll this is the first two slides. Will you and Aldo will repeat after me, and then I'll open the room.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll be short and slow so you get it all. Okay.
Okay.
So good evening and welcome everyone.
Dạ, xin chào mừng quý vị
Hold
đồng
on,
hương Việt Nam.
Quinn.
I'm
You're
sorry.
not in the room yet. You're not in the room. This is the part where you repeat after me.
Okay.
And then we'll open up the interpretation room after we explain it. Okay. So let me do my intro and then you'll repeat and then I'll repeat. Okay. So okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Not simultaneous, not yet.
Okay, sorry.
All right, just like we did yesterday. Okay. So good evening, everyone. Welcome. My name is Kathleen Podrosky, and I am with BTA's Community Outreach and Public Engagement. Before we start this meeting, I want to make sure everyone knows how to navigate the language and chat features, and then we will go over a few housekeeping items, take a quick demographic poll, and then get to the best part, which is the art. Quinn, go ahead.
Dạ, xin kính chào quý vị đồng hương Việt Nam. Tôi là Kathleen Podrosky. Tôi là người phối hợp trong cái chương trình này về cái dự án tăng cường nghệ thuật chạm. Và sau cái phần giới thiệu này, chúng tôi sẽ giới thiệu với quý vị đến cái phần để quý vị hướng dẫn quý vị để vào những cái phần để quý vị có đặt sau khi theo dõi có thể đặt câu hỏi hoặc là chat hoặc là đặt câu hỏi cho chúng tôi để bày tỏ sự quan tâm về cái dự án tăng cường nghệ thuật chạm này.
And then Aldo, thank you.
Buenas noches a todos, bienvenidos a nuestra reunión el día de hoy. Tenemos acá como encargada de conducir la reunión a la señora Kathleen Podrosky. Ella nos va a dar algunas explicaciones. Antes de empezar esta reunión, quiero asegurarme que todo el mundo sabe cómo navegar por las funciones del idioma y el chat. A continuación, vamos a repasar algunos asuntos importantes y luego haremos una encuesta rápida y demográfica sobre una encuesta demográfica para pasar a la parte más importante y divertida que es el arte. Muchas gracias. Thank you, Kathleen.
Thank you. Next slide, please. So this evening, we will have live Spanish and Vietnamese interpretation available throughout the meeting. To join the Spanish or Vietnamese channel, please click on the circle or the globe icon at the bottom of your screen. Select the language that you want and mute original audio. If you are joining us by phone, click on the More icon that has 3 dots and select language interpretation. After Quinn and Aldo repeat this, I will open the language channels. Go ahead, Quinn.
Đây là phần thông dịch ngôn ngữ cho cái dự án nối chạm giữa Eastridge và trạm của xe điện. Thì sẽ có cái phần thông dịch bằng tiếng Anh và tiếng Hoa cũng như là tiếng Tây Ban Nha. Thì nếu mà quý vị muốn nghe được cái phần thông dịch thì quý vị xin click vào cái phần có cái quả cầu nói là để thông dịch. Còn nếu mà quý vị muốn nghe phần thông dịch bằng phone thì quý vị click vào cái phần nó có cái hoa đó thì quý vị sẽ được nghe cái phần thông dịch để hướng dẫn cho quý vị đồng hương Việt Nam chúng ta để hiểu rõ về cái dự án và cũng như để thưởng thức những cái chương trình vĩ đại này nối kết giữa cái trạm của chúng ta với lại cái xe điện ngầm và những công trình về nghệ thuật rất là hấp dẫn. Xin cảm ơn quý vị.
Thank you. Aldo, go ahead.
Muy bien. Tenga en cuenta que el día de hoy vamos a tener interpretación tanto en español como en vietnamita. Para poder acceder a esto, le vamos a pedir que presione el botón que tiene el icono en forma de globo. Esto va a aparecer en unos momentos más en la parte inferior de su pantalla. Cuando haga clic en ese globo, usted va a poder seleccionar el idioma de su preferencia, puede ser el inglés o el español, y finalmente va a poder utilizar, si es que está a través de un teléfono, puede utilizar el icono que dice más, que son 3 puntos, y seleccionar el icono que tiene que ver con idiomas. Ahora vamos a abrir los canales lingüísticos. Gracias.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and open the language channels now. And we can go to the next slide. We will have the chat option available this evening. If you like, type your question or comment in your language, and we will translate it as needed for everyone. Next slide. This meeting should be enjoyable for everyone. This is a fun topic. Please take a moment to read the note in the slide, reminding everyone to be respectful of each other. This meeting is being recorded, and it will be available on VTA's YouTube channel that you can access through the project page, which I'll show you at the end. We'll ask that you keep your microphones on mute and use your real name. We do like that one person speaks at a time so everyone can be heard. Raise your hand to speak, and by hand, that would be your virtual hand, that's the star. And our general code of conduct is just to be respectful. Next slide, please. So welcome again. Here is our agenda. We do have an interactive meeting this evening. We are joined here tonight by residents, businesses, transit riders, community leaders, artists, VTA, City of San Jose, and Santa Clara County staff. I want to take this time to welcome from District 8, Council Member Domingo Candelas. And Domingo, if you want to just say a quick hello, I'd love to give you this opportunity.
Well, thank you, Kathleen. I just want to express my sincere appreciation to everybody who's took time out of their evening to be here so we can see and meet the artists, and more importantly, this has been a long time coming, and so the fact that we are able to be at this juncture of this project that I remember my parents voted on in 30 years ago, or 20 years ago. I'm happy we're here, and I'm happy to be the representative for District 8, which includes East San Jose, and Evergreen, and the Eastridge Transit Center. So I'm excited to be here, and hopefully everybody is as well. So thank you, Kathleen. Back to you.
Thank you, Council Member. I will share a short poll this evening. This will be for you to let us know who is here this evening. And these polls help us with our outreach. We know who we're reaching, who maybe we need to work a little harder to reach. And it just helps us know, a little more about you. And after that, I'm going to hand the meeting over to Mary Rubin with the City of San Jose Public Art Program. Mary will present the Station Art Program with the review of the meetings that we held in January, and then bring everyone up to date, focusing tonight on the Eastridge Station. She will introduce the artists who will present their art proposal for the station and tell you the story, how they came to that. And there will be time for discussion. And at the end, we will learn what is planned for the Station Art Program after this meeting. What are the next steps? And whoops, I almost turned, let me get the right one up. There we go. I'm going to launch the poll real quickly. Once I remember how. This is one of those tech things that always have me worried. Hold on one second, please. And if any of there it is. Okay, there's so many little buttons here. It's like I'm trying to find the right one. One second, here we go. So I'm going to launch this, and I put all the questions on one poll to make it easier. And you can scroll. There's a bar on the right. You can scroll down. But the first question is asking people, how old are you? And you have the option to say you don't want to answer. These are anonymous, by the way. Okay, so we just like to know what ages we're reaching. And then when you're done answering that, you can scroll down and go to question number 2. What is your race and ethnicity? And there's 4 questions, just so you know, you can anticipate what comes next. We ask about annual household income. And then the final one is, how do you get around? And if you get around more than one way, like I would answer that car, walking, and light rail. You can click them all. You're supposed to be able to click them all. And when I see it has slowed down, I will end the poll and do a quick share of what the responses were. And I'll go over it real quickly. We won't go over every single line because I want to get to the good stuff. All right. I see a slowdown. I'm going to go ahead and end it and share the results. Alrighty, so I'd say the majority are in my age group, 55 to 64, followed by the 25 to 34-year-olds, 27%. And majority of the audience this evening identifies as Asian, Asian American, or Hispanic, Latino, and white. And you all make government salaries, pretty much. There we go. And no surprise, a lot of people getting around by car. It looks like we need to work on our bus and light rail marketing there. Kudos to the bicyclists and walkers and ride shares. We all get around somehow, and I bet after this project is built, we can get a higher response. I'm going to stop sharing. For you to get that off your screen, use the little X on the upper right-hand corner. All right, and we can go to the next slide. So that would be after the who are you slide. Move a couple things on my screen so I can watch both. Alrighty, where are we? Here we go. So 1 minute reminder of what this project does. It extends light rail from the existing light rail Alum Rock light rail station to the Eastridge Transit Center with an elevated guideway primarily in the center of Capitol Expressway. It is about 2.5 miles long. It is also called the Orange Line. It includes a station at Story Road. There's a rendering in the middle, that middle picture of the slide of what that would look like. And that station is elevated and accessed by a pedestrian bridge. And then another station will be built at street level at the Eastridge Transit Center. That is the bottom right one, and which is what we're talking about this evening. When this project is complete, VTA riders can board light rail at Eastridge and then connect directly with BART at the Milpitas station that opened in 2020. And you should expect that ride to take about 19 minutes. Next slide. This project has been divided and delivered into phases. And that first phase, VTA addressed the pedestrian access and improved safety along Capitol Expressway between Quimby Road and Capitol Avenue. That was completed.
Kathleen, you got muted. Kathleen, you're muted.
Alrighty, I don't know who muted me, but please don't.
I'm sorry, that was me. I was admitting somebody, but my mouse slipped.
Okay. How far did I get?
You were talking about the improvements between Quimby and Capitol Expressway.
Thank you very much. All right, which were completed in 2012. It included the new sidewalks, street and pedestrian lighting, and the landscape. In fact, that was my first project when I came onto VTA. Next was the reconstruction of the Eastridge Transit Center, which is one of VTA's busiest transit centers. And those improvements included new shelters, amenities, and supports bus rapid transit. That was complete in 2015. Next slide, please. This is showing you a map of our light rail system. If you look on the right, this is the orange line, and that little dotted area and the circle, that is the section that we are extending. Now I'm going to introduce you to Mary Rubin, City of San Jose Art Program. Thank you so much.
Yeah, hi, thanks, Kathleen. As she said, I'm Mary Rubin. I'm a senior project manager for the City of San Jose's Public Art Program. And we are working for VTA on the public art for both Eastridge and Story Road. Next, please. So for people in the room tonight that may not have attended our meetings in January, I'm going to quickly summarize the public art process thus far. Next, please. So again, we're focused on Story Road and Eastridge light rail stations. And this evening, we are going to focus on the artwork concept for Eastridge. Story Station will be presented in September, so look for those notices, please. Next, please. So I always say that maybe the most important step in a successful public art project is selecting the right artists. Our work on selecting the right artists began in 2021, when the qualifications of close to 250 artists were reviewed by a selection panel that included artists, design professionals, and community members. Next. And based on the panel coming up with a short list out of those 250 artists and subsequent interviews, the panel recommended Amir Falla for Story Road and the team of Laura Haddad and Tom Drugan for Eastridge. Next, please. So after contracting, the next important step is to introduce the artist to the community. In January of this year, of 2023, we kicked off the artist design process with 2 online community meetings, one in English and another in Spanish. The artists introduced themselves to those in the room and then asked a series of questions to get to know the community. In that exercise, people shared like a wide variety of information. They talked about the neighborhoods they were from. They shared what's special to them about San Jose, from the foothills to the greenery to the views, to special sites like Mexican Heritage Plaza, Alum Rock, and Emma Prush Park, and Mark's Hot Dogs. People, I just like saying that. People also were asked to share words that describe what's personally important to them or symbolize community. And they were asked to share their favorite public artworks, both in San Jose and beyond. And this is essentially where the artists began their design process. They also researched the history, explored the landscape, and worked with the project team to understand the site. Next, please. I'm not going to go into too much detail on that because Laura and Tom are here tonight. They're going to share their process, taking off from those meetings. So let's see. And after their presentation, we're interested in your questions and comments, which will be shared with the Public Art Committee to inform further development of the projects. So with that, next, I'm going to hand the floor over to Laura and Tom.
Thank you, Mary. Hello, everyone. So thanks for joining us tonight. For those who we didn't get to meet at the last previous meetings, I'm Tom Drugan, and this is Laura Haddad, and we're an artist team from Seattle, Washington. Laura and I have been collaborating, doing pretty much exclusively public art for over 20 years now. Our artworks are inspired by the place in the community where they're built. We use a variety of materials and create visual effects using sun, wind, or rain. So you can see from this slide a big variety of artwork. We're going to share with you our inspirations and initial ideas for the Eastridge Station artwork. Next. So our inspiration for the artwork comes from the input we received from you, the community, and from our own research and explorations of the Eastridge area in East San Jose. In the inspiration section, you'll see images as well as quotes from the earlier community meetings that were especially meaningful to us. Next.
Hi, everyone. So this area is both Silicon Valley and Evergreen Valley. It's a future thinking place that is rooted in a strong agricultural past that in many ways is still the heart of the community. In the earlier meetings, we heard how important family, community, and connecting with one another is. So this is true for the wide diversity of ethnic groups who together form the Eastridge community. Next. The Eastridge Station we discovered was once a wetlands that was fed by both Silver Creek and Dry Creek. When we visited, we followed remnants of Silver and Thompson Creeks through many of the neighborhoods and natural areas. Next. Many community members at our last meeting told us how special Alum Rock Park is. And we really love its mysterious historic portals and the connection that they provide to nature. Next. Also inspiring to us was the golden natural light and how it adds color and vibrancy to the landscape, especially the foothills. Next. The powerful forms and cloud-like branches of the live oak trees that we saw when we drove up San Felipe Road are emblematic of the Evergreen Valley and truly beautiful. Next. Someone noted at our last meeting, we are an area full of orchards and canning companies. So we drove along Quimby and Clayton roads up into the foothills and we saw remnants of that history. We started to think about how the branching and grafting of fruit trees is a metaphor for how the community changes and grows with new people making the area home. Next. Colorful, dense branches covered in fruit also reflect community values of nature and nurture while representing the abundance of the valley's agricultural history. Next. So flowering trees are also celebrated by many cultural groups in ways that unite the past and the present, as well as people to one another. We visited several cultural places, including temples and shopping centers like Vietnam Town, where we saw tree blossoms abstracted into beautiful forms. Next. We also discovered that there is a wide diversity of cultures in the area that have temples and churches that bring community together. We noticed a similarity of these radiant halos that are a shared image of glory across many religious groups. And we were especially fascinated by the halo around the imagery we saw at Our Lady of Guadalupe surrounds her whole body. Next. We shared, another aspect also shared among many cultures living here are celebrations tied to the lunar calendar. And then we just thought it was kind of interesting that the moon too has a halo at times. Next. Then our last inspiration slide to share is this one. So San Jose is a place that enjoys 300 days of sunshine a year. And the sun's motion across the sky and phenomena like rainbows create another kind of halo of light. Next.
So our sculptural concept is based on the many inspirations and the input of the community. We developed the art concept with a working title called Radiance. While we've done a lot of work to develop this idea, it's still only a concept and will continue to evolve as we get more input and we move into design. Next. So Radiance is an abstract sculpture that's drawn from the community's diverse cultures, celebrations, natural light, and environment. The sculpture forms a portal that you can walk through. The lower arbor forms incorporate a heart and moon shapes, but also more contemporary forms of conduit and circuits. The upper halo is an organic composition of branch-like rods, refractive prisms, and colorful dots resembling flowers and fruit that glow and sparkle in the actual sunlight. Next. Standing underneath the sculpture, it'll be similar to looking up into a tree canopy full of colorful fruit and flowers. Next. The sculpture changes in appearance as people move around and through it. When viewed from the center, its lower pipes form a very subtle kind of heart shape. When viewed diagonally, they form a moonlight circle. When viewed from the side, the sculpture alludes to a grove of trees. Next. The artwork is 28 feet tall and 34 4 feet wide, but its size could change a bit depending on the design and engineering as we develop it. The interior space that creates the arbor pipes are 12 foot high by 11 foot wide. So it's a very generous space for groups of people to pass through on their way to and from the train. Next. From the side, the sculpture actually tapers upward and outward from about 4 feet wide at the base to about 14 feet near the top. Next. Stainless steel is the main material, and we chose that for its durability, its low maintenance, and its ability to reflect and glow in the sunlight with different finishes. It's also silver and picks up on the historic Silver Creek. The lower 2-inch diameter portal pipes will have what we call a bead blast finish. And this is more of a matte finish that'll make the sculpture actually glow in the sunlight. The 1-inch branching pipes that emerge from the portal pipes will be mirror finished, as will the matrix of thin rods used to hold the halo of fruit and flower inspired discs. Next. The valley's colorful fruit and flowers are abstracted here into colorful circles that are made of super durable polycarbonate that will not break or fade. We have explored a variety of color combinations, but have landed on this combination of oranges and golds that are warm and vibrant, like the sun and some fruits and flowers. The discs are smaller on the center of the halo at 5 inches, and they transition to larger 8 inches circles on the outer perimeter. And each size disc has a slightly different color there. Next. The mid-sized branch pipes will have acrylic prisms attached to their outer ends. These will be custom made from non-yellowing acrylic and at about 12 inches long. The prisms will glow in the sunlight and cast spectrums of little rainbows onto the area around the sculpture. This element will contribute to the vibrancy and the lightness of the artwork. Next. So here's a couple images from some previous artworks that we've done. So Iridescent Cloud on your left is at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. And this just shows how we use stainless steel rods and prisms to form this aerial sculpture. Uplift on the right in Phoenix shows the color, luminosity, and energy of the polycarbonate discs that we'll be using. Next.
So I'm going to talk about the location. As a portal between Eastridge Station and the community, the artwork is located so that it will greet both residents and visitors from many vantages. Next. We looked at a wide variety of locations and determined that the best place for the sculpture is where the red and yellow circle is placed on this image. This is the nexus of the train station, the bus terminal, the park and ride, and pedestrian trails. Next. This location will provide views to the art from many directions. Major views include the view from the new train platform, the existing bus terminal, and the walkway that connects the plaza to Eastridge Mall. This location will also allow a quick view of the artwork for people passing by on East Capitol Expressway. Next. We built a study model to work out the best location for the artwork. The portal we found works very well with the accessible circulation, which is designated with the red line in this model. It is located near where the detectable directional tile lines intersect, and it frames the directional tiles to guide people through the artwork and to the platform. The sculpture is about 12 feet away from the base of the stairs to the train platform. Next. The model allowed us to see how prominent the portal will be from the train and the train station platform. Next. And then for those looking from the bus terminal, the sculpture is also very visible and here exhibits its grove-like branching side. Next. And a very similar view is experienced from the pedestrian trail connecting the park and ride to the plaza. Next. So the sculpture will frame the entry to the new train platform, and here the mall is to our back. Next. And when leaving the train platform, the artwork also forms a welcoming portal. Next. So the sculpture location will be approximately where the circle is in this photo that shows the existing site conditions. We may need to remove some of the plaza furnishings like the trash can and the blue kiosk to create more space around the sculpture. We also hope to see the planters be refurbished as part of the construction. Next. So here we've located the sculpture into the existing plaza conditions. We removed the trash can in the foreground. The new train station will be on the left side of this image behind the sculpture. Next. We will continue to study how to best integrate the sculpture with the plaza. We're also exploring the use of special paving at the base of the sculpture to connect its two sides. Next. The directional tile and the paving under and around the sculpture could potentially become something special, similar to the carved granite pavers that are shown here, which are functional as a caning detection surface. A paving feature may relate to the Silver Creek that once ran across this ground, and the paving element could also be a kind of welcome mat. Next. So this is our last image. We just wanted to say thank you very much. We look forward to your input, and we'll take what we learned from you here today and continue to develop the artwork so it becomes a great addition to the Eastridge community. Thank you.
Okay. This is where we open up the floor to questions and comments and what you have to say. So either in chat or raise your hand, please. And thank you, Laura and Tom.
Thank you.
Christina.
Hi, everyone. I'm Christina Bowie. I'm the the Tully Road and Eastridge community leader here on Tully Road and Eastridge. Thank you, Laura and Tom. Those are some beautiful renderings. The work looks gorgeous. I'm just wondering, would it only be in that area? Would there be other art installations along the way or along the let's say the walkways or something like that?
At this point, we're really focusing the art right on that sculptural expression. So we haven't looked at other locations.
Okay, and that would be entering through and coming down from and going through to the light rail.
Well, yeah, like we said when we were looking at all the locations, we tried many different locations and wanted to really focus the art budget into something that would be very large and memorable and iconic and create a symbol for the community and the facility. So we did. Okay, I'm gonna go back because this has been quite a process, and we did at one point look at having smaller artworks amongst the planters and in the plaza, but we felt like it got overwhelmed by all of the existing elements in the plaza. There are a lot of planter islands and, like I was saying, the furnishing. So we thought it would be better to just do this very kind of large iconic piece. And then up on the platform, there really isn't a lot of space because it's really given over to the passengers who are there using the train. So the location we chose we thought worked because it's visible from all of those locations, but not physically in them.
All right, thank you so much. Beautiful artwork. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Domingo.
Thank you. First of all, yes, I'm right there with Christina on her comments. This is exciting, beautiful artwork. I got a question. Is there going to be, and apologies if I missed it, is there going to be like a descriptor or something that's going to like explain like what the art piece represents and like the colors and the structure, basically kind of what we heard. So people that, are walking by can kind of see and know what all those things represent. Like, I don't know, like I like to read everything that I see at like parks, right? And that describes the art piece or what we're looking at. So I'm quite curious if that's going to be a part of the art installation.
We definitely could do some of that. It's up to the program too. Sometimes they like to keep the plaque very simple, but we often like to prompt people for a deeper dive to go online and get more of the deep story of a lot of the inspirations. But we sometimes will do more of a summary of the influence and inspirations and the concept on the plaque itself. But different programs are different. Mary, if you want to weigh in on it.
Yeah, what I would say is that's a collaboration between VTA and the artist and what we hear in the community. We've done it, several different ways. Usually our plaques are very simple, but there might be something else there. With the BRT stations, we did ask people, we kind of directed people to the website. Because there was so much rich material. So I think that's TBD.
Do you ever do QR codes that people can scan that will take them to a website?
Sure. You've got, somebody has to commit to the website. But I think all of this, what I'm hearing is the background of the concept is intriguing, is compelling. And consider, how that gets communicated.
Correct. And I think more so, I mean, yeah, I'm thinking like, something that 5, 10, 15 years, people go look back and be like, oh, this is why this is not through a QR. Who knows what's going to be the future of the internet? I don't know if a QR code is going to, people are like, why is it a QR code? That's so weird, and I mean, I don't know. There's just my thought, something timeless, like a representation of what the time and effort that you all, the artists and the community, and the representation of the colors and the but anyways, I'll stop talking. But anyways, just food for thought.
We can definitely do that. And we put a couple of sentences on plaques that just like list the inspiration, not going into a huge amount of detail, but to spark people's imagination. So I think that's a great comment.
And maybe we go Melissa and then Justin.
Oh, I think Justin was first. I don't know if Justin minds or not. Okay, so my comment is, Laura and Tom, again, I did think it was very beautiful work, and I really appreciate you taking the time to kind of travel our East Side to really incorporate what the East Side, some of the beauty of our East Side. So very much appreciate all the effort that was put into that. And I do very much love the piece. One of the things I do like about it a lot is that it becomes an entrance or an exit to the train, which is really where we're trying to focus, the new station. Question I have is, so a few things is that area, is VTA actually going to kind of create that courtyard a little bit different? So you mentioned having to possibly move planters, benches, garbage cans. Is there a plan that we could hear about later from VTA about what's going to happen to that courtyard area, or what that is going to finalize look like? So I know you showed us your sculpture, but what is actually that kind of new depot going to look like? So that's one question for VTA. And then to our artists, I very much like your idea of your paving or your the groundwork that has to be done, because I think leaving the sculpture as it is, while beautiful, I think you can actually continue to build on that beauty by being very creative with your kind of, like you said, the flowing of Silver Creek, or it's kind of organic shapes, and the paving and the colors through that. So I think that's a must. I think that would be very nice. And then from a practicality standpoint, while I love art and I want us to have nice things on the East Side, I also want to be very practical about the safety and the durability of that piece of art. How is VTA, and how are we going to continue to make sure about that it's properly cared for? It does look while I'm certain it's not, it does look delicate. So I just want to ensure that that is something that we put in our neighborhood and that is going to be here for years to come. As our council member said, I want to ensure that it's going to be safe and that it's going to be durable in our environment. So those are my thoughts and my questions, please.
Thanks much.
Yeah, I can answer, just make a few comments back. As far as we understand, and maybe Ben can talk about the plaza, but the plaza will not change too much. But the paving between the sculpture and the new platform will be replaced because there are some existing things there that need to move, planters and so forth. So the sculpture really kind of is at the terminus, I think, of that new paving. So it is an opportunity to extend the special paving. If they're putting some new concrete in there anyway, we can maybe integrate some art elements into it. And then the safety, David, maybe if you just flip back to the previous slide, there's the image of the sculpture. So we've positioned all of the kind of protruding elements high, so they're out of reach to make the sculpture, well, we never want to say unclimbable, but very unclimbable. Like, you know, people will not easily be able to get up here. And so we've thought about that, and as Tom said, we're using this very durable hard metal stainless steel that can be refinished over time, and it looks good even as it ages. So so we thought about that too. This is a site where there will be a lot of activity and a lot of potentially hard use, so we wanted to use durable materials.
Yeah, and we appreciate your comments about the paving too. That's another exciting thing that Laura and I just started to explore, and we have some of those initial ideas. But I think someone said in the previous meeting this, you know, idea of a welcome mat, and I think that really stuck with us. So I think that'll kind of ground the artwork and give the portal a real presence as you pass through it.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Justin?
Okay, thank you. All right, thanks for taking the time to present this to us, allowing us to give input. I do appreciate that process. I'm from the East Side. I do public art, but I also do bicycle advocacy for the East Side, so I am connected in a transportation manner. I appreciate the research that you've done. You guys have, or you two have brought up some things that I was unaware of. You know, it's an interesting thing about all the religious connections. So good general research. I do also want to add second, the previous talker was talking about is it is a walkway. That's really great. And it is, you know, coming off of a portal and you enter into a space. So that's really great on that. I think paving would help into creating that walkway and leading people out of the station into the new space they've arrived. I will say it is a beautiful piece of art. I can recognize the skill and what's going on. I don't feel any connection to it, which at some point might, you know, I don't dislike it. I don't feel any connection to it, but I think, you know, once it's erected, it might change that. I do want to say that the bike culture here will hang their bikes from this. So I do want to question the durability of this. This is a mall that all of our unattended youth go to. And they're definitely going to hang on these little pieces here. So I do want to ask about durability of that. I mean, if it could handle it, that'd be great. That'd be kind of fun. The other thing I want to mention, this happened in an Arizona project where they did a really nice art piece, but they didn't take into account for the sun. And you have pieces like this before, so you may have already addressed this, but I worry about the temperature of that metal. If it is going to heat up, or if you guys have that issue with these other ones. I think you have one in Phoenix. Yeah, so I'm sure you're familiar with heat. But those are the, like, structurally, those are the two things that I would say is the durability of that bend and people being on this as a piece of furniture almost. And is the material is the heat of the material has been considered. So again, thank you for presenting this. The artwork, it is pretty nice. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Justin, for the comments. Yeah, we're definitely, the whole thing will be engineered to withstand, the potential of anybody hanging or climbing on it. But of course, we try to deter that as much as possible with the way it's designed. The heat, that one we did show in Phoenix. The reflective metal actually reflects the heat back off. So it's, when the metal's darker, it actually holds the heat, and actually that's what tends to burn people. So we haven't had any issues with the ones down in Phoenix. We've done a couple sculptures down there and out of the metal, and haven't had any issues down there with that. And thanks again for the connection with the paving. Again, like I said before, we're excited about that opportunity to make it connected. And I think sometimes you mentioned that you don't feel a connection with the artwork yet, but I think it's interesting how sculpture, once it's installed, it kind of becomes part of a place, especially something of this scale and size. And what's kind of hard to capture in our renderings is all the qualities of light you'll get. So as the light's moving through the sky and changing from morning through noon to night, there'll be all kinds of lighting effects that happen with these colored discs, and those prismatic effects that happen. So I think people that come through here, people will be commuting often, using the space repeatedly. So as they come at different times of year and different times of day, it's going to be a little different and nuanced. And I think that's really going to be a cool effect, how it's kind of becomes an instrument for the environment in a way, kind of makes you more aware of environmental conditions and quality of light and things like that. So thank you.
Anybody else? Have a little bit more time.
Just to add to the artist, as no one else is answering, I actually am excited now that you bring up the color and the lights going through those little circles. That might be pretty exciting to see. So thank you for adding that.
Yeah, thanks.
And we actually just realized the connection with the orange line, with the orange. Yes, we're really excited. It's the end of the orange line, and we have orange in the artwork. So that was kind of a happy coincidence.
Okay.
Okay, well, if there aren't any more comments or questions, you are always welcome to email us. But I'm going to go ahead and let Mary finish this slide because I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Sorry
So
about that.
next steps, it's kind of important, right? The next opportunity to contribute to the project will be at the Public Art Committee, which will be on October 3rd. I think it's, yes.
Yes.
October 3rd. And at that meeting, the artists will again present their concept. And while I will brief the committee on what we heard from you this evening, it's an open public meeting that you are welcome and encouraged to attend. It's hybrid, so it will be online and in person. So that's the next steps for this artwork. And then we anticipate Amir Fallah's artwork. Concept for the Story Road will be moving forward in September. So we'll have another meeting very similar to this in September 13th.
So may I ask a question? I'm sorry, Mary.
Yeah, please.
So when is the time frame for actually installation of the art? Does it happen before or after, or actually simultaneously as the line is actually being created? Like, when would we actually see the art? Would the art be finished when the line and the light rail arrives, or is it done before? Is it done at the same time? Just curious.
The artwork will be installed when concurrent with the station.
Okay.
When the station is finished, the artwork will be there.
Okay.
Those are good questions.
Yeah. Any questions on next steps? I think I'm going to give the floor back to Kathleen then.
Yeah, next slide, please. So this is the part where if later on you're thinking, you know, I wish I had asked, or I would like to know, please send us an email at community.outreach@vta.org or call. And I always love if people go to the website, the vta.org/Eastridge to BART, one long word, and you subscribe to updates. That is that section shown on the slide on the bottom right, which if you're on a computer screen is also on your bottom right, or if you're looking at the website on your phone at the bottom. When you subscribe to updates, you get our stakeholder emails. And I don't spam you. I'm really careful about that.